We are officially live here. Thank you to Renee Mirsky for being the first to comment. We just jumped on here, so we have a great show coming up for you. This is the Ultimate Horror Giveaway. If you don't know who I am, my name is Joe Lam, the writer-director of the horror comedy The Fetus, starring Bill Moseley from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Lauren Rivera from Terrifier 2 and 3, and we do these giveaways live every single month. We're on StreamYard. We are streaming to Facebook, X, which is formerly Twitter, and Instagram. Well, it looks like X is disconnected, so I need to go live on that. Oh, unfortunately. All right. And thank you for Scott Norris. Just saying yay. I'm giving you a yay back. Cody Lebowski, let's go. Thank you guys for being on and just commenting. So what usually happens, if this is your first time, we have a couple guests that are going to be coming on, usually at the 15-minute mark. This is an hour-long show. Allie is not able to be with us. She is at a funeral today, so unfortunately she is dealing with, some personal matters, but she wishes everybody well. And we do 3 smaller giveaways throughout the course of this show, and you have to be on to be able to be eligible to win it. And then, of course, at the very end, we do the big grand prize giveaway, which is called the Slaycation giveaway, which is appropriate for summer. Okay, and so winning the smaller ones, that involves your participation, because we need you guys to actually tag your friends to help spread this and get the word out. Okay, so I tend to be a giver, and so because if you guys are participating, contributing, then we'll continue to do these giveaways. So it's a lot of fun for us, and I hope it is for you too as well. So Travis Kuhn, thanks for making a comment. This is going to be yeah. Is there a second half of that? Awesome, you mean? Willie Graham, hey, back at you. All right, so I want to just give some news right off the bat. If you haven't heard, The Fetus is out on DVD. Okay, it came out on Walmart just a couple weeks ago. We have it on our site. I put it up today, which is thefetusfilm.com. You can go to /shop if you like. You want to go directly to the page if you haven't got your hands on the Fetus DVD. And as you know, there's been reports of like PlayStation and other places, they are like just canceling movies and games that people bought, which is crazy. Why would they do that? Yes, hi Kathy Long. Thanks for joining us. So, which I think is terrible and it sucks for people, but that's why we have physical media, right? I'm also going to get myself ready. So, and I chatted with Brett Wagner. He's going to be coming on pretty much in about 10 minutes. All right. So you guys get ready for him. Okay. We're going to ask him what he's been up to, what's going on with his career, conventions. And also we have Chris Vecchio. He goes by CJ. He puts on a lot of horror conventions. One of them that we were at just over a month or a month and a half ago, and screened The Fetus, and like the audience loved it. And we got a lot of like audience reaction recordings as well. And so I'm wearing Gregor now. Okay. This is Gregor. If you guys don't know him, one of the stars of The Fetus. Okay. So I do want to mention that we are currently selling our mystery boxes, the Fetus mystery box. Okay, this is your chance where we put 5 to 8 items that are Fetus and other horror merchandise as well that you can grab on our website. Just go to thefetusfilm.com. This round is closing tomorrow. Okay, and if you get it, because I throw a bunch of stuff in there, it's like if you bought a shirt, it's like $30, right? But if you get the mystery box, it's an extra like $9.95, right? And you get a whole bunch of other stuff in there. We always put apparel. You're always like gonna get a shirt or a hat or something of like substantial value. All right. I'm even gonna be putting original storyboard in this one for everyone who gets it. Okay. Usually I don't do that, but I put an original hand-drawn storyboard for The Fetus, and I sign it as well. Okay. So it comes in a nice like plastic wrap. Also, if you get the mystery box, you get to be eligible to be hand painted right here into the Fetus poster. This is known as the Fetus creature poster, hand painted by Tony Vingle, who's an amazing artist. And this is not AI. Okay, we're not doing AI here. This is actual hand painted by an artist that I commission every time somebody wins from purchasing the mystery box. Okay, you get hand painted right here. You can go to thefetusfilm.com and you will see the past winners. Okay. Some other news I want to talk about right now is I don't know if you've seen a post recently, which is about a new product that we're creating. This right here. Look how big it is. It won't even fit. It won't even fit into the screen. This is the Fetus due date. This is a board game. If you like Monopoly style games, this is being developed right now, and I'll explain it to you. Okay, this is the first time I've ever explained this. You guys are watching it live. Okay, so write in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. Put something in there, okay, as I talk about this. So you would start off pregnant in this game, and then you go around this entire circle. That is considered the first trimester of pregnancy. And then when you cross over, you draw a certain card. We've got a bunch of cards here. You would draw a character card, because in the movie, The Fetus, you encounter different characters. They're either going to hurt you or they're going to help you. And this second track is actually the second trimester of pregnancy. And then you cross over to the third one. It's the third trimester, leading up to what you see here. It says the final battle that you would face off with Cerise. And she shows up as a figurine once you enter the third trimester. Before then, it's just a portal. And of course, this is my hand drawing, okay? This is not going to be the original design. So don't think that. So I have to explain that right now, okay? But I'm sharing this because you guys are going to have the chance to get this prototype. I'm printing a limited number of this, and we're not making any money, but there is a cost to this because we're looking for play testers. But on top of it, I'm going to give you some extra bonuses if you want to be one of the 9 play testers. Okay. So the goal is, if you can make it through here, what's happening is you start off with 6 blood tokens because you're pregnant and you've got the fetus inside. And like the movie, the fetus has to feed to keep growing, to survive. And if it doesn't, it's going to attack the mother, who's Alessa, played by Lauren Rivera. So you are constantly gaining and losing blood tokens. If you can see here, if you land on a hospital, this space, you add 2 tokens. You land here, you have to draw a fetus card. You land here, you draw a character card. Again, you face off with another character. And then there's another blood donation center that's plus 3 tokens. You can land on a Cerise space. You draw a Cerise card. And she's got these powers that are just going over and attacking the players constantly and draining their blood. There are some really cool things here. You can get bonded with players with your token. If you're moving around, you draw the wrong card, they get stuck to you. You've got to roll doubles to break free. There's things where you will pull blood tokens from all the players. This is between 2 to 6 players that can play this game. Again, if you like Monopoly, this is going to be Monopoly style. And then the coolest thing about this, and I've created a video describing all of this. So if you want to get it, it's going to be available, okay, as a prototype. The coolest thing is when you land on a space with somebody else, another player, you're going along, you're like, do, right? Someone else goes, boom, right on your space. It triggers what's called an encounter. And that means you have to roll off with the dice, and the person with the highest roll will get to deal this. take, give, or swap cards. So you could end up with a worse card, or they can steal your best card. And then they also lose a blood token. And the thing is, if you have no blood tokens when you get here, you're gone. You can't even fight Cerise. But you're going to roll off with her, and it's going to be win or lose. And that's how you win the game. Okay? If you win, everybody on the board loses. If you lose, you get knocked back, and someone else has a chance to come up and do the attack. Okay? So I hope this sounds fun to you guys. If so, put in the comments, put I want it, something like that. But I think I put it live already. If you want to get, I literally put it for $9.95. You guys, $9.95. And I have to put a price to it because this printed thing, which I'm only printing 9 of them, it's $18. Okay, plus you get the blood tokens, you get the stack of cards, you get 3 dice, and you get enough tokens for 2 to 6 players. Okay, so this is the Fetus due date. The board game, if you guys want to get it, is only 9. Okay, and again, we're looking for play testers. If you get the game, play with your friends, record a video of a little bit of the gameplay, and then after the game is done, record the reactions of the players, because we want to make the next round, because after that, we're going to be presenting this also at an upcoming horror convention in Detroit. It's going to be Detroit Horror Con, which our special guest, Chris Vecchio, CJ, actually runs. And if you're in that area, awesome, we'll see you there. But he's agreed to allow us some tables so we can play test live at the film fest at the horror convention. Okay, so I'm looking at some of the comments. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you want, like I said, there's only 9 of these. You want to get it, go to thefetusfilm.com. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here. thefetusfilm.com/shop. Once they're gone, that's it, you guys. I'm not making any more prototypes. Why? Because the first round of feedback, it's going to change. It's going to improve based on your feedback. Okay. And if you get it, I'm including, I think, a digital copy of Delivering the Fetus. Okay. You get a digital copy of this. It's a PDF. Also, the audiobook version of it. I'm throwing that in as well. And I'm going to give you a 25% discount on the actual board game once it's released. Okay. I just decided that right now. That was not included in there, but I'm deciding that right now. That's what you get. All right. Brett Wagner just texted me. He said he's in the room. Hope you guys see me. I don't see you. I don't see you. That is strange. That is very strange. Brett is here, but he's not here. You know what I mean? So let me see if I can. He says he's backstage. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me figure this out. Let me find where. I'm going to click on this thing that says people. I'm going to resend them an invite link. I just resent that to Brent. I know you guys are excited to see him. All right. So hopefully we can make this work. Let's see here. You got to love technology. All right. It's always I can move some things around here. Look at all this. Oh yeah, there's our there's our logo. I can show that a little bit. Yeah, normally the guests just show up here. I'm texting Brent right now saying, how about the link I just sent you? How about the link I just sent you? hoping he can come on. Okay, we can try a different way where I'm going to go on to, let's see if we can go on the Fetus Live. So I'm going to be adding the Fetus Live. On the phone right now, this is supposed to be active already. So we're actually, I'm using StreamYard and I'm going to be using the phone for this. All right, if you are just joining us on Instagram, this is the Ultimate Horror Giveaway. We are waiting for Brett Wagner to come in. Brett, if you're watching this right now, you can try to jump into the Instagram as well, okay? So we can still pull this off, Brett. And of course, I'm getting a call from my brother right now. He's trying to come in. Oh, I see Brett. Okay, Brett is coming into the studio. All right. Brett, I'm gonna give you a short little intro before I bring you on, okay? So Brett Wagner, so before he was an actor, he was a pro wrestler and a TV host announcer with over 100 film and TV credits, like Sons of Anarchy, The Mentalists, NCIS, John Dies at the End, which is a cool one, The Happy Time Murders. Like, he's done it all. But horror fans know the real story, because in the summer of 2003, Brett Wagner put on the Leatherface mask, and he delivered an iconic sledgehammer kill in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. So please welcome Brett Big Schwag Wagner.
Hey, buddy.
All right, Brett, thanks for joining us.
You can hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
All right.
I don't know if I don't know if I can live up to that buildup.
Oh man, you know you're big, tall, and strong. So yeah, you're up there.
I'm big, chunky, and diabetic. There's a difference.
Well, Brett, so you know, everybody always wants to know, like, what was it like being Leatherface, just donning that costume? I want to start off with that. Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously I started acting because I loved horror movies. Dawn of the Dead, 1978, Night of the Living Dead, 67, and a couple little horror children shouldn't play with dead things, which is a kind of a fun, campy movie done back in the day. And I got into acting because I really loved that. I loved Night of the Living Dead. I loved The Night Gallery, The Outer Limits, The Twilight Zone. So as a kid, I watched all that stuff, and I just thought it'd be so cool to be able to play a monster or get killed by monsters and all that stuff. So when I got to about 20 or 21, I started going to acting classes, and it took a long time to start getting my first gigs, and then to be consistent with acting gigs takes a long time. And I've been doing it for 35 years, so you always have to keep reinventing yourself, because you get older, you start to play different roles, you have to audition for different things. And if I wasn't filming, I'm filming next week. I'm filming a horror movie with Tom Devlin, who owns Tom Devlin's Monster Museum in Boulder City, Nevada, outside of Las Vegas. So I'm getting the biker look going again. But otherwise, I loved it as a kid, and I've been blessed enough that I've been able to make a living at it, almost a complete living at it for 35 years. So.
Nice. And I'm actually going to, because we're on Instagram Live here, I'm going to turn this around so the fans can see you. Now, what has been your secret after all these years, still just making movies, still acting, still at it? I mean, what's the secret?
Yeah, well, there's no secret. I mean, it's like I've also been the voice. I do everything, right? So I've always been a guy that's tried everything from the wrestling to, doing radio and have my own radio shows, from hosting on TV, for doing voiceovers. I was the voice of a very popular TV show called Monster Garage on Discovery Channel for 7 years. And I did, I hosted a drag racing show for 6 years called Pastime, which was very popular. So, I mean, if you, I'm not just, I'm an entertainer is what I like to call myself. I'll try anything and everything and that's how you make a living. Now, look, you could be lucky and get on a TV show that runs for 7 years and it's, a union show and you're making a ton of money. But otherwise it's still a constant grind. I'm 58 years old. I still grind away. We do a podcast for YouTube, me and Felissa Rose, the Killing Time Experience. And you just do everything you can and hopefully one or two things stick and you just keep making a living at it. I married a very smart woman, so she puts up with me and I travel a lot. We're on the con life, as we call it, the con circuit. And I do a lot of conventions where I've seen you. And in fact, that's where I met you, was at a convention. And, you got to do everything. It's not, sometimes people are very lucky and they get into something that lasts forever but otherwise, there's 90% of us that are actors or entertainers that just you got to keep hustling and doing it. So I've also been very blessed that I'm the voice of a lawnmower company called Bad Boy Mowers out of Batesville, Arkansas. And I've done that I'm coming up on my 22nd year. So make a little paycheck with them, and then I got to fill in the rest of how to survive and making money doing other stuff, whether it's acting, radio, or producing or doing the conventions. So,
well, in terms of preparation as an actor, coming up to a role, like, what is your process in that?
Man, it's for me, it's not early on in my acting career, I was the thug number one or the bad guy number two and stuff like that, or playing biker number five. So stuff that's, for me, is if it's something that I already am, not a bad guy, but I am a biker and I do ride, and I, have been a bouncer for 20 years in Hollywood while I was trying to make money as an actor. I had to throw people out of bars and do security and work with bands and go on the road with bands. So stuff like that is very simple and it's not very hard. It's when you get into something where you're playing against your type, you're playing against what you normally play. And, if I got to play a father or a grandfather and stuff like that, then it becomes a bit of I better really study for this, and I better be on my P's and Q's. But, I've been doing it a long time. So, I don't get too nervous about stuff, and preparation is just easy. As long as you have my dialogue is memorized, which is not the easiest thing in the world. Some people are great at memorizing dialogue, and it takes for this old man, it takes a little bit of time. So as long as I'm good with the dialogue, then I'm pretty easy to work with, and I'll figure it out. I mean, that's why you got a director for it too. If the director doesn't like the direction you're doing, hopefully you can lean in. And this is something I tell a lot of young actors or younger actors. It's like the couple times you're on the set, and the first time I was, in a big, movie, I'd always look to the director and go, "Hey, how was that? How was that?" And they're worried about other stuff. If they're worried about you, they're going to say something. Otherwise, I kind of will just look at him, and if he gives me the thumbs up, then I don't worry about it anymore. And so, as you get older, you're not so insecure with roles and everything else. And I've had to play a couple of grandpas lately, which was fun. I had to prepare a little bit more for that because that means I have a daughter, or I have a son, and then I have a nephew or a niece. So it's something that I'm not used to playing, but I mean, it's we're an actor, so you get out there and you be prepared, and hopefully it works.
All right, and if you guys have questions, please put in the chat. Okay, we've got a few minutes left with Brett here.
Well, I
What?
want to ask you a couple questions.
You want to ask me? Oh,
So you have been on the road just like me for a good part of 2 years, I would say, with your movie, which we love. The Fetus and everything else. But how's it been for you? Because you've been traveling just as much as I have.
oh, I don't know. Like last year we did. I mean, I think I did like a dozen conventions. I don't know how many you do, Brett, but
Well, I do more than a dozen, but I saw you at half of those at least. I mean, what do you like the travel? Is it cool? I mean, I got to imagine as a filmmaker, it's pretty cool to meet the fans and spread the word about your project.
Well, for me, I'm not so much traveling, but I do it for the fans.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. I mean, I got to live my dream of becoming a movie director. So it's like, it's my duty to keep it going and keep,
Yeah.
promoting this film so other people can see it. That's.
Well, you see that you get I mean, there's a lot of people that promote their films, and then there's people that really promote their films. And you're the guy that really, really promotes his film and gets the word out there. And I've told you that before, that I'm very proud of you. I do like the movie. I like, I love the actors that are in the movie. I love the concept of the movie, and I did like it. And I think it's a fun movie with some very good, actors, Bill Moseley and, Lavera in it, and the rest of the cast and crew. And I think it is definitely warranted for a part 2.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole goal of the whole point of doing all of this and continuing it, because we want to make it equal, and if the fans want it, the demand has to be there too. But I need to do a little segue and share with everybody that if you can please start tagging your friends right now, in order to win the smaller gifts that we do on this live. You have to tag your friends, and then we select the ones who've tagged the most, okay? Because that helps expose us to more people to help grow the community, the audience base, all right? And there is a question here, Brett, from one of our fans here.
Yeah.
Lucky's Etch-a-Sketches asks, what has your favorite kill to film been?
Wow, that's a good question. Obviously, the kill that I do in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, killing Eric Balfour, the Kemper kill, as we call it, with the sledgehammer, was great. But, and that's a great movie I'm in. I love being in that movie. But my favorite movie I ever did was The Crazies in 2010. And not so much a kill, but I get a big fight scene with Timothy Oliphant at the end of the movie. I drag him into a truck bay underneath where they change the oil on trucks, and we have a really good fight scene, and he lights me on fire, and I got to do the burn for the movie. And that was probably my favorite thing to ever do. But fighting's great. I love killing Eric Balfour was wonderful. He was a trooper, and that movie is definitely a great movie. Marcus Nispel, our director, was just he's great. He did our movie, and then of course he did the remake of Friday the 13th with Derek Mears, and he's done a whole bunch of stuff. Pathfinder for Disney, I believe it was Disney, which is one of my favorite movies. I love it. So yeah, I've been very blessed. I've done more TV, and if I have 135 credits, right, 120 of those are TV over 35 years. So I've been blessed. I was on Drake and Josh, which was a very funny, kids show, and I loved being on that show. And I had a great character and great scenes for it. And I've done a lot of Disney and Disney High Def and Nickelodeon, and I love all that stuff. It's just I love doing comedy more than I love doing action or the horror movies and stuff, because that's just my thing. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. No, I love it. I make a good living, being a guy that will go under makeup. So don't get me wrong, but I do love the comedy. And my first movie, Joe, was with my first movie I ever did was called Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams. So.
Oh yeah.
I got to work, even though my scene in the movie is maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I'm dropping off. I'm the beginning of the movie, dropping off Robin Williams to Sam Neill, which was pretty cool in itself. And getting to watch him for off and on for a week and a half was just amazing, getting to watch Robin Williams work. So maybe that's where my love of comedy comes from. I don't know.
Wow. And if you guys don't know Bicentennial Man, it's a very unique story. This robot becomes human, and then he gets human skin and falls in love with the granddaughter of the woman who purchased him as a robot. And he lives to Bicentennial. He lives to be 200 years old.
Yeah, it's a weird movie. They didn't know how to gear it. It's definitely not a kids movie. But when you see it, there's robots, and you think, oh, maybe this is for kids, but it really wasn't. It's an adult love story and everything else, and it was a very good movie. That movie cost $100 million to make back then, and that's a long, long, long time ago, and it did not do very well at the box office. But Christopher Columbus directed it. Great guy who directed Mrs. Doubtfire and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it was just pretty cool to be able to work with him too. He's just an amazing director. So, yeah,
he's a great director. All right, so Brett, I'm going to need your help now. I need your help.
Yes.
Pick the winner, okay? All right. We're gonna do our first small giveaway here. All right. We don't have Allie, so we don't have her wheel of death.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do a blind thing here, right? Where I'm literally just gonna scroll up and down. If you guys can see this is what I'm doing. On never mind. That's too complicated. I need my hands free. So I'm gonna be scrolling up and down in the comments, and then I'm just gonna pick with my finger, okay?
Well, do you want me to tell you to stop or something? How am I gonna pick? How am I helping?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you in a second.
Okay.
You're gonna help with this. You're gonna do the countdown, okay?
Okay.
I put my finger there, but it's covered. I can't even see it because this the way the thing works, right?
Oh.
I uncover it, then I'll know who the winner is. But
okay. All right. All right.
Countdown, Brent. Okay. We dubbed this the swag bag because of you. Okay.
Yes.
This is
all right.
One side, your buddy Bill Mosley on the other.
Yes.
So a countdown from 5 all the way to 1. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Start, Brent.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab a winner.
All right. This is the Stranger Thing. This is a walkie-talkie. There's like a character inside of here. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So this is going to ship to the winner for free. The winner is Michelle Hefner.
Oh, Michelle Hefner.
Well, you know Michelle then.
I don't know, but I think I do. I mean, it sounds familiar.
It sounds like you know her.
It sounds like I know her. I think I know Michelle Hefner. Well, congratulations, Michelle.
No relation.
If this was Random House, sweepstakes, I would have to say, no, I have no idea who Michelle Hefner is. But congratulations, Michelle Hefner.
Yeah, I was saying, no relation to Hugh Hefner.
Not well. That's a shame. If you look in the background of one of my favorite movies and posters, that is from the Fulci's Zombie, and that is the in the beginning of the movie when the cops get on that boat in the harbor and that big fat zombie is on the boat and they shoot it in the head and it drops over in the. Anyways, I'm a big. I love zombies, Joe.
Oh yeah. Well,
zombies and fetuses. We have to figure out how to combine them.
And this is to everyone on right now. What would you think if we had Brett and the fetus too? What would you guys think? Put in the comments. All right. So
yeah, please. I'll tell you what I think. I have been bugging this man for quite a while and saying, hey, listen, if part 2 goes, and I don't, and this is I think a mistake for a lot of actors that maybe have a foothold or been around. They expect to be in a movie. I don't expect Joe to give me a part in a movie. I like to say I will audition for you, and I have no problem. And sometimes people will be like, "Hey, you don't need to audition for me. I know your work. I want you in the movie." But I at least offer that because you never want someone to think, well, he just expects because he just did he's been in a couple gigantic movies that I'm just going to give him this gig. And I think it's a mistake in a lot of people that are, that may have a little bit of foothold in the business right now, or they're making a name for themselves. They expect to get gigs instead of just going out and doing the old fashioned way and auditioning for the director or sending them a tape and saying, here, this is the scene you wanted for that part, and here you go. I think that's it's the best way to do it, because then you never know. You don't want to go. I mean, it's only happened to me once where I was like, yeah, someone gave me a part for a movie, and I said sure, and I didn't even look it up. And when I got there, I was like, oh no, I did not really realize that this was what I was doing, and I was terrible. So. Well, one in 135 chances is fine, but you don't get too many chances in this business, because if you've ever looked at acting or even directing, the same thing, producing, if you could be one and done. So when you do get an opportunity, don't blow it. Be prepared, study, know who your actors are. Here's something I do, Joe, when I go in for an audition. If it's in person, which is very rarely nowadays since COVID, we don't really go in person unless it's a commercial audition that still bring you in to tape, self-tape, or if you get a call back, you might be in front of the producers or the director or the studio. I study. I go on IMDb. I see who's doing that TV show. I see who's directing that episode, and I know everything about that director before I walk in. I know about the movie. I know about the producers. I know about the other actors that are going to be on there. Because just in the off chance, I get 2 seconds with that director to say, hey, I loved your other movie, or I loved, I got to work with a guy who was in Omega Man with Charlton Heston, and he was directing. And I looked him up, and I know this guy. And then when it hit me when I was in the audition, and afterwards I did my audition, and they said, thank you. And I was walking out, and I turned around and said, by the way, I loved you in Omega Man. And he goes, oh my gosh, that was, 40 years ago. And he goes, yeah, I got that gig. Now, whether or not that helped, I don't know if it helped, but it's good to be prepared, Joe.
It's a relationship. But Brett, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you sharing everything. So we have Chris in the standby in the studio right now. So
all right.
I am going to have to bring him on, but it's so great.
You don't have to. You don't really have to, but I'm glad he's on there. I'm going to tell you, Chris Vecchio, CJ as we call him, is a very hard-working guy. He's very funny, but he is hard-working and has come up and done some very cool conventions, and he keeps growing and growing and growing. And I think the sky's the limit for a guy like that. So good luck with the interview. If he gives you a hard time, Joe, just text me real quick.
I'll send him your way. Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Brett. All right. So Chris, I'm gonna bring you on in just a minute, okay? But we have to do a little commercial break before we do so, okay? So we'll always have to mention our mystery box, because it ends tomorrow. We do a mystery box for a short period, just for about 1 week. And if you guys get it, well, you become eligible to be entered into, oh, 1 second. You will be eligible to be entered into a drawing where you can be hand painted into the official Fetus poster. This is by our artist. Her name is Tony Vingo. She will hand paint you right into here. Then it gets printed and shipped to you for free. There's always a winner. Okay. And if you get a mystery box, you get a lot more value than if you just buy a product on our site, because we put in 5 to 8 items. They are the Fetus merchandise, or there's other horror memorabilia in there. There are some signed items. I always make sure if I can sign it, I will sign it and ship it off to you guys. Okay. And of course, the best thing is you get the chance to be immortalized in the poster. And so, Gregor's here is excited about it. That's why he's chomping at the bit here. So, but now I want to bring on Chris. Chris, I'm going to do a little bit of an intro for you. Okay. So our next guest, he's an award-winning indie horror director, actor, paranormal investigator with over 30 years chasing the unknown. He founded the Chicago Horror Film Festival, created the Columbus and Milwaukee Horror Cons, and launched Unholy TV. He's also currently developing Demon Hunters, an unscripted reality series where horror filmmakers confront genuine demonic entities. And he also was gracious enough to screen the Fetus at Columbus HorrorCon about a month and a half ago. So please welcome Chris Vecchio, also known as CJ. All right, CJ, thanks for having me.
I can't. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I hear you. I can hear you. Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you though. You said 1 second,
Oh.
and everything muted.
Oh no, I can hear you. You can't
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, I can't hear you.
Okay. Well, you may have to. I may have to remove you. Let me unmute and mute. How about now?
Yeah, for some reason, yeah, I can't hear you. When you went to the commercial break and said 1 second, everything went silent.
Oh,
You mean log off and log back on again?
yes.
All right, let me do that.
All right. We're trying to get Chris back on here. Okay. But in the meantime, if you win, please send your mailing address. Okay. That's very, very important. So Chris is trying to get back into here, add to stage.
I hear you.
You hear me now. Okay.
I hear you now. I hear you now. Can you hear me?
We've got you double, Chris. Okay.
Nice.
All
Two
right.
for the price of one.
All right. So you're frozen in one, you're alive and kicking in the other.
Sweet.
So, yeah,
That's what she said.
For everyone listening right now who's on, we're gonna do another second giveaway at the end of Chris's segment. Okay, so stay tuned. But Chris, welcome to the show. So
thank you for having me.
Yeah, so please share because you do quite a bit. You were immersed in the horror community, filmmaker. You're in horror TV. Also, you run the cons. You know, what is it that drives you doing what you do for the fans?
You know, because I am a fan, right? So, I mean, I've always been a horror fan since I was a little kid. I remember watching, The Exorcist when when I was 6 years old there, or I had my parents take me to see Jaws when it came out in the theaters. I was only 8, and it was their biggest regret ever, right? And then I've always wanted to write and direct. I did act. I was an actor. I did some acting about 15 years ago. But I wanted to be behind the camera. So COVID was like the perfect opportunity for me, right? So it shut down my business, and I started writing. My girlfriend's dad is an author in LA, so I used him as inspiration and help, and and then like I said, we got some stimulus, COVID stimmy money, right? And I said, let's just make a movie, and that's how it all started. My first movie, probably I think cost like $6,000. It was called BL. And it just hit the film festival market like crazy and just exploded, and it kicked everything off right there.
So what was it about doing it the first time, like making your first movie? Like, how did that just like change, going from an audience member, right, to then you're creating? What was that transition like?
Well, like I said, I'm an artist, right? So I've always been a creative type of person. And like I said, when I was acting 15 years ago, instead of, how actors, it's hurry up and wait. You sit there and wait. Well, instead of sitting at the craft table, I was, I was behind the director. I was behind the DP. I was sitting there waiting for my scene for like 8 hours all this time. So I kind of knew what was going on behind the scenes, and I love watching behind the scene videos on making movies, right? So when I just said, hey, I could do this, right? I've always wanted to do it, and it just was a natural click for me, right? You have to have a right team, and I've been in business all my life, so it's all about the team you surround yourself with, right? You just had the big swag. He was in my last movie I'd made 4 years ago, The Evil 3. And it was just perfect working with him. Great guy, awesome on the set, very helpful, very yes. And then like I said, when it was my first time directing, it really wasn't my first rodeo. Now editing is an entirely different story though. editing and post production, and I got to a point where I fell in love with post, and I have my sound guy Ted Mercedes. You always hate it when I'm like, fix it in post, don't worry about it, and which I love post production out of everything.
Oh, okay. So it's post is like, but it could be endless. You can
Oh
just
yeah,
keep editing and editing. The trick is for everyone listening is like you have to know when to stop. So
yes.
how do you know when the movie is done and you can walk away?
And then I'm going to give you guys some tips, right? Especially if it's your first time editing. Your first 5 drafts, like your first draft, you're going to cry. You're literally going to cry, like, oh my God, I just spent 30,000, 40,000 on this movie and it's absolute garbage. And I'm going to tell you a little story. So I had a co-writer. I sent him the first draft and he's like, take my name off the credits. And I'm like, you serious, dude? It's the first draft. He goes, yeah, take my name off the credits. And in the credits of the Evil 3, you'll see Alan Smithy, which is like an inside joke for post production and people. So I added Alan Smithy on the credits. But yeah, it's going to take probably 100 drafts. And my thing is, it gets to a point where it's every day. You're just editing, doing this. What I do is I take a break. I put it down for a month, right? And I come back, go on vacation, have some fun for a month, and I come back into it all fresh. And then boom, every time that's when it clicks. Like, all right, I'm doing great. Yeah. So the thing, and just it gets to a point where you're just like, all right, that's perfect. It's it. Let's set it off. That's it. Let's make the copy of it. But I always recommend, when you're hitting your 50th, 80th cut and you're kind of like, oh my God, it's never going to end, take a month or two off, right? There's no rush. There's hundreds of film festivals. If you miss a deadline on one, don't worry about it. And just take a break and go on vacation and come back with fresh eyes. And like I said, every one of my films, I have done that because I was told to do that. And it works. And it works.
Well, Chris, we have a question from one of our
Oh,
listeners here.
oh boy, I'm scared.
Cody Lebowski asks,
Nice.
what's something about making an indie horror film that surprised you the most once you were actually in the middle of it?
Oh, what making an indie horror film? You know what? Like everybody, the excitement surrounding it, right? Like I said, we did an Indiegogo campaign for the Evil 3. Just excitement. I like the behind the scenes type of stuff, and like I said, getting casting and all the excitement behind that and getting a crew and the excitement about that. And that's why I kind of find it, and like I said, people are still buying my last movie from 3 years ago, which is pretty exciting. So just excitement about it, the enthusiasm, the people like willing to help and lend a hand, and which is it's like the horror community is just amazing. And people will bend over backwards for you. And then, like I said, and the cool thing too is my part is paying it forward, right? And that's my deal.
And Michelle Hefner asked a quick question.
Oh boy.
Is it about time for your next movie?
You know what? She's not the only one. Yeah, you know what? Like I said, right now, I kind of switched paths, right? I'm doing the convention scene right now. I host film festivals. So I took over 3 years ago the Chicago Horror Film Festival, right? And COVID killed it. It like the last person that was running it literally had 2 people show up to the film festival. One of them is my buddy Andrew Gibbs, great director. And the guy that was running it got burnt out. We took it over, and right now, currently on Film Freeway, we're number 3 in the world for best reviewed indie horror film festivals, and
Wow.
IMDb certified. So yeah, so basically, we have like this year's submissions for the Chicago Horror Film Festival, which is the first weekend of October. I think currently we're at 638 films submitted. It's amazing. So I'm kind of tied up right now, but we are talking about doing something, a film.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you have it, Michelle. So, all right. Well, I wanna ask a question about what is it like running these horror conventions that you're doing nationwide. I mean, it's like crazy to me.
Yeah, you know what? I started off as a filmmaker, right? I've been to probably 80 conventions, I want to say, selling my films as a vendor, right? And I've gone to a lot of great ones, and I've been to a lot of bad ones, right? And I just sit and watch. Like what would I? And I'm always like, what would I do different, right? Even when I watch a movie, what would I do different? And when I took over the Chicago Horror Film Festival, we were thinking about doing one in Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Horror Con Film Festival. And I was at Scarefest. No, I was at Flashback Weekend in Chicago, which is a great one, right? And somebody came up, saw the logo because we just started, and they were excited about it. I'm like, well, first of all, what are you doing in Chicago? Why aren't you in Wisconsin? And they're like, well, because we don't have a convention in Wisconsin. And all of a sudden, a light bulb just popped. Why can't we do both? Why can't we be like Days of the Dead and then have that film festival going on, right? So that's how the Milwaukee Horror Con started. And it was just, it's basically same thing as making a movie. You got to scout for a hotel or a convention center. You got to like casting. You got to reach out to vendors and celebrities, and get them in. And like I said, Milwaukee just took off. It took off. So yeah, and then then we had Columbus, and at the end of August 28th, 29th, 30th, we have Detroit. And we have a few more on the books right now, especially like we're getting 2027. We're already looking, 2027 is getting full with cons, and we're actually looking at 2028 already. But it's just to set up the prep, the social media. I mean, it's a full-time job doing this. It's fun. It's great. I have awesome perks, right? And then people ask me like a couple weeks or the weekend of like, how do you feel? Are you excited or nervous? And I'm telling you, I literally have no feeling. I'm not excited. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I've never felt that in my life where, how you feeling? I really don't know because I don't have any feelings. Now I want it. Ask me Sunday at 6 p.m. when we close up how I feel, and I'll tell you. But like people asked me yesterday, are you nervous? No, it's just, I'm not nervous. So, but it's fun. It's a fun. I love it. I have a great team working with me. We had great celebrities. I made awesome friends, vendors, celebrities, team, and all that. I mean, it's just we're as an entrepreneur in businesses. I've been in management all my life. It's all about the team you surround yourself with, right? And that first team. Trust me, that first team's going to have bugs in it, and it's going to have some dead weight. And I've had that team, and we trim it down to the point where our last Milwaukee Horror Con, our crew was so amazing. Like we were talking about got teary-eyed, at the photo op and all that, group photo op. To Columbus, boom, same team, rocked and rolled, nailed it. I mean, I want to say we're like, the Navy SEALs of conventions, right? I mean, everybody's on the same page. And the thing with us is, like with my bad experience with conventions, we're vendor friendly. We're vendor ran, I mean, I'm a fellow vendor, and they appreciate it. Like we go up to every vendor and introduce, every vendor knows who I am, right? I've been to so many conventions. I don't know who the hell's running it, right? I mean, they might be posting Facebook videos every day, smiling in the camera, but they ain't coming up to my booth or any other booth saying, greeting themselves. So that's what we do, a very personal experience with not only with the celebrities, but with the vendors, and I'm focused more on the vendors than anything.
That's awesome. I mean, that's the way to do it. And we're coming to a close here on our show, but I just want to do a shout out because Evan Towell is in the Instagram right now.
Oh.
Evan was at Columbus Horror Con.
Love Evan.
Along with Ali Dilak, our social media manager. I was not able to be there, but Chris CJ was gracious enough to screen our film, The Fetus, there, and we got a bunch of like video reactions and all that. So that was awesome. But Chris, any last things you want to share, and then I want to get your help to do our second and third giveaway before we do our final big grand giveaway. Any last thoughts you want to share as a filmmaker, convention operator?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give filmmakers, I'm going to give you guys some great advice. And listen, when you submit your film to a film festival on Film Freeway, before you submit it, watch it. Watch it and make sure it's perfect. Because we get a lot of people like, oh, you don't even watch film festivals or films. We do. But there's a lot of films out there that there's audio gaps or there's bad cuts. I mean, there literally was a film. It's like, oh, and action. And that's how the film started. And I'm waiting for like the joke because there's a lot of behind the scene type of, and it never happened. I'm like, boom, red flag, you're out. So watch it. Watch it. Doesn't take, it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Watch it. Because that's a big issue. We get that a lot. Probably about 15, 20 submissions a year is just a mess. And then they either, or, oh, I'm sorry, we sent you the wrong cut. Really? Seriously? That's a tip for you filmmakers out there, right? Before you submit it on Film Freeway, watch it. Always, too, when you go to a film festival, have a backup copy of your film on a hard drive, just in case. Always have. I've been to a couple film festivals where they were missing the DCP or something happened, and I had a backup, right? And that one event, I had about 40 people come to see my film. And they're like, we only have 30 seconds of it. I'm like, well, it's supposed to be 30 minutes, but I have a hard drive. Here you go. That's another tip. And like I said, if you're a vendor, check us out. We do the Milwaukee Horror Con, Detroit Horror Con, Columbus Horror Con. You can follow us on social media, Instagram, all that jazz. And we're working on a couple more horror conventions coming to you soon.
Awesome. All right, so everybody, this is going to be time before we release Chris. This is going to be time to start tagging. Tag as many friends as possible because we're going to select the second mini giveaway winner. Okay, you guys start tagging. And while we have Chris here, I'm going to set up for the next one.
There you go.
All right, so I'm gonna grab the swag bag. Okay,
big swag.
Oh, here we go. Start tagging, you guys. Start tagging. Okay. All right, I'm looking at two screens right now. So tags are going. It's going. All right. So Chris, what we're gonna have you do here is you're gonna do a countdown from 5 all the way to 1. Okay. During that time, right. I wish Gregor had a bigger mouth to grab stuff. I'm going to try it. This will be the first time. I'm going to try it. Okay.
Work it.
Oh, here we go.
Tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's go.
All right. And we have this.
Ooh.
You guys don't know what this is. Oh, this is an interesting one. You guys don't know what this is. Okay. And this is, I'm going to have to open it for you guys.
I got to say, great merch, by the way. You have great merch.
This is an apron.
Ooh.
Featuring Art the Clown. Look at that. So if you cook in the kitchen, if you're good with ingredients, this is for you. Or if you don't cook, find someone that does, invite them over. Okay. I'm actually just going to put this on right now. It'll be a fun way to close out the show. So, all right. So, and I have to do the random picking here. Okay. And again, Allie is not here with the Wheel of Death, but I'm just doing the random and I'm not looking. Boom. The winner is Craig A. Kearns. Craig.A.Kearns. So congratulations. You are winning this Art the Clown apron.
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, send us your mailing address. We'll ship it off to you. Okay. So Chris, thank you so much for coming on. We're wrapping up the show right now. So
hey, real quick, how many guests have you ever had on? They're actually in a party bus right now. I'm on a party bus at John Cougar Mellencamp.
Party bus. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
That is wild. That's your.
It's gonna be a good night.
You're doing it in style. So
it's the way you go.
Well, I'm gonna see you in Detroit. Okay.
Woo!
So
awesome, brother.
Detroit Horror Convention. Look it up. Get tickets. Join us there. All right. So Chris runs it. All right.
August 28th through the 30th, Detroit, Michigan.
All right. Awesome, Chris.
All right, brother.
All right.
Cool. Thanks. Ciao.
Okay. So you guys, we are literally right at the end of our show here. What I do need to do is I need to mention two more things before we do our third and final giveaway, which is, of course, this thing I mentioned earlier. This is the Fetus Due Date prototype. It's a board game. It's like a Monopoly style board game. It's got 3 tracks, like the 3 trimesters, because you start off pregnant. If you were not here for the beginning, I was pitching this, and there's only 9 of these prototypes. And we're doing it where we're not making any money. It's literally, you can get this because we are looking for play testers, and you get a bunch of cards, like stacks of cards, 3 different stacks of cards, the Fetus, Cerise, and character cards. Our first play test was incredibly fun. So many people loved it. We had 6 players. They said they wanted to play it again. That's a good sign, but I need more feedback to help improve this. And then we're going to do a game testing also at Detroit Horror Convention that Chris runs. Okay, so if you want to get this, there's only 9 people that will get this. It's going to be printed on poster board. They literally cost $18 to print. You also get the cards, the blood tokens, player tokens. You get dice. Okay, and it's $9.95. Okay, I'm sorry, I do have to charge because there's like some cost and there's shipping and handling. Okay, so if Cody says he bought it, thank you, Cody. And what we're asking for you, if you do get it, is to just record a little bit of video of the place testing, you guys playing the game, to show the excitement of it, and then when you're all done, get a recording of everybody. Could literally just record and everyone just shares around the table what you thought about it, because then it helps us give the next round of revisions to improve the game. But this is going to be, that's my hand-drawn version. That is not the final version. The final version is going to be nice designs, artwork and all that stuff. But it's incredibly fun. You get your friends together, 2 to 6 players, you play it, and you let us know. And there's a deadline of August 7th or something like that. It's just go to the fetusfilm.com and the shop tab, and then you will see it there. There's only 9 that's ever going to be available for this draft version. Okay. So last thing I'm going to have to do before we do the, I'm going to do one more giveaway. Okay, you guys, with the swag bag. All right, here's what we're going to do. I had to do the countdown this time. All right. So I like using Gregor. I'm going to do Gregor here. All right. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Gregor's pulling out something really soft here. Look at this. Look at this. This is a blanket, a really cool blanket. And you guys, if you want to get some of this stuff, it's like you can go to ultimatehorrorclub.com. We actually sell this stuff too, okay? That you see on the lives, okay? It's got some of your favorite iconic horror characters. There's who's on it. I'm looking at it backwards. We got The Shape. We have Jason. There's Freddy. There's some more down there, but I can't really see because it's going to be, hard to do that. So, the winner, we're going to pick the winner now, okay? So I have to do the blind thing again, okay? Doing the blind thing. So, and I hope you were tagging me because you show up earlier on if you're tagging, okay? So I'm scrolling. All right. And we have Renee Mursky. Renee, you are the winner. Okay. So congratulations. You're the winner of this horror blanket. Okay. The other side is I don't know, but it's pretty soft. It's, this is going to be shipped to you. Okay. So please DM us with your mailing address. Last thing I'm going to do, I know it's time to go, but last thing I'm going to do is, of course, mention our mystery box, and then we're going to do the grand prize giveaway drawing. Okay. All right. The last thing, of course, the mystery box offer ends tomorrow night at midnight. You get it. We throw in 5 to 8 items into it. You get the most bang for your buck because you're getting stuff that's signed, stuff that's not available for sale on the website. I'm throwing in a storyboard this time with a nice like plastic thing covering around it, and it's signed and it describes what the scene is from the movie The Fetus. Okay, not only that, you get drawn, hand drawn. You get eligible to win yourself being hand drawn, and you select the weapon of your choice. You get to select the weapon that you want in here. Okay. I said, I'm waiting for someone to pick a bazooka. That's what I'm waiting for. Okay. That will be the coolest. You know, I know it's not a horror weapon, but that's okay. That's just me. And it gets hand drawn. It's not AI. Okay. So now it is time to pick a grand prize winner of the Ultimate Horror giveaway. I have to go to our special page here in order to pull this off. So there's like there's a cool kind of, I don't know what you call it, but it's software that allows us to do this. And I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can see it. And this is completely legit. So there's no, you guys are seeing the back end. So okay. Giveaways. And it says there's a winner picker. I'm here showing you guys winner picker. Clicking on this, and it says choose a giveaway. I'm going to choose the next one coming up. Is called the Counselor's Last Call giveaway. So stay tuned for that. As long as you're on our email list, you are automatically enrolled to every giveaway that comes up. This one is the Slaycation giveaway, the one with all the beach items. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to draw the winner. Clicking it, it's going. It's going. I wish I had some music for this, but I don't. And it's going to slow down pretty soon. And here it comes. And Katara Harper. All right, if your name is Katara Harper, you are the winner of the Slaycation giveaway. Okay, so I'm going to click confirm winner. You have 30 days to what do you call it? To claim your prize. Okay. So that's it. Thank you so much for you guys for staying on, watching for the entire show. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like it, feel free to send us DMs that you like this, because we will continue to do this if you like it. Okay. So thank you so much and have a good night. Thank you to our special guest as well.